Yeah. uh-huh. Yeah. Shit. Grams leaders CC's pounds. Close caps, close call, close encounter, close up, pounds of leaders of grams, get your dosed up, cut this up, post up, and get dosed up. This for them voted like the move and make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates for them folk that can't relate. I gotta elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb, and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in no trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that truth serum hooked directly through your veins. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch a close up, close up, close up, a close up, grams of it, tune in, leaders of it, close up, pounds of it. Pounds of it, yeah, grams of it, liters up, pounds, get you dosed up, dosed up.
Dosed up. Okay. Yeah, dosed up. Wow. Hey, I'm liking the sound effects tonight. My song had looked like a little bit of 808 or something. A little bit more of that effect, humping.
Little bit. Hold on. We got these.
Oh, yeah. I need to hear my bombs and all
that. We got those.
For people that's gonna be tuning in, oh yeah, it's Monday night, y'all.
That's right.
8 o'clock, man.
That's
it's
right.
The show Dosed Up. I'm Sharpshooter, aka Dose. That's Lab we got on the ones and twos, and I'm quite sure y'all can see somebody over my shoulder in the background that got my back. That's my little twin right there.
Right.
So she in the building just observing. She might say something, she might not.
Right.
That's
we're gonna see if we can get her to say something.
She cool. Her mic work if she needed to. That's all.
Yeah. We're gonna see if we can get her to
bless
us with a verse now.
But so weekend recap. I'm still kind of living it. I got up with my daughter, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We did some exercise and we ate something. We shopped a little bit. Then I was like, hey, you want to kick it with me? And she was like, why, sure. I have nothing to do. So I'm appreciating that. But I do want to say how, and you see our previous episodes when we talk about parenting and we just talk about what we have going on and what we want to do. You and I understand when we offline and talk about what we talk about, it manifests.
Right.
But like with her being here, you know what I'm saying? My listeners and things like that can actually see what I be talking about. Like when I'm mentioning, hey, yeah, man, I do everything for my daughter, and you ought to see me cheesing and all this other stuff. And I was like, she in school, so she out of town right now. But when she graduated or whatever, I can't wait till she come back.
Right.
And I'm gonna have her around me a little bit more, a lot more if I can. And so
it's always good. It's always a sign of a great father when their children don't mind hanging out with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all fathers whose children don't hang out with them are bad, but I'm just saying the mark of a great father. If your child wants to hang out with you, not your young lady or you know what I'm saying, she wants to hang out with you, I think that's cool. I think it's always good to have insight with your daughter and your children. I have you know what I'm saying, like, man, I think it's a good thing.
It went from, like I say, precious moments to some cool ass moments. Like I tell her all the time about the snuggly, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But she was next to me, you know what I'm saying? And I always knew, I'm like, that's a particular bond that's going to be here forever. You know, it's just energy, you know what I'm saying, that was being built way back then. And I also like told my daughter, you know what I'm saying, I'm new at this. So I want to be the best that I can at this. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might have to go ahead and give me my little evaluation. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
and the main thing I tell her, like I tell my brother from time to time, I was like, man, you know, whatever it is that I didn't want or I didn't like, that I had to ask for or look for or felt like, you know what I'm saying, should have been kind of like given to me or I should have been able to do. I was like, I'm gonna make sure Shawty right here kind of has her own lane to make her own decisions. And it works.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, just, it works.
Right.
So I'm gonna continue, like I say, now I'm helping, you know what I'm saying? Financially, however I gotta do it. It ain't no ceiling to how I'm going to help her or whatever she wanna do. It ain't no pressure either, you know what I'm saying? So that, and like you said, the word great, that's what the topic is gonna be about. But I also wanted to tell you this because I sent you some footage.
You did. Oh yeah. You sent me two videos. The first video was you working out.
Yeah.
You and I forget who. I don't know who the gentleman was that was with you. Was that your trainer?
One of my trainers. Yeah.
And y'all was doing the thing. I was like, I felt motivated to exercise for about 15 minutes. Then it went away.
But see, motivation in 15 minutes. If you'd have done something for that 15 minutes, that's great.
Right.
You can have a little quick 15 minute.
Yeah. But you know, the unfortunate thing is I was down here putting the audios on the or putting you guys podcast audios on the podcast site. So when I saw it, it gave me the motivation, but I was engrossed in something else already. So it's like I guess we could use that as an excuse as to why I didn't get my fat butt up and do anything. I'm trying to curb my cursing in front of your daughter.
But the thing is I'm going to try to do more of them. Like this is kind of, I say this is like premature. You know
right.
Like, but it happened. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind it, but I'm going to do more. And like I say, this right here, this is a BBG member now.
Right.
But it's a baddie back gorilla. You know what I'm saying?
what is that one?
Black back gorillas. You know what I'm saying? And that's a baddie, like a young, you know. But
right.
But I felt honored. You know what I'm saying, to teach my daughter a couple of things, and she wanna go to the gym with me. That's what life is all about. Like now, I feel like I gotta be youthful. I'm gonna train her how to do it right. Like now you see game soaking up game. I'm being trained, but now I can train her.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And then I know how you were saying, well, how do you motivate people or how do you get people, you know what I'm saying, to do it without necessarily always trying to sound like I'm trying to get you to conform to something.
Right.
And now you starting to see. And so with her, we about to get some outfits and stuff together and start trying to do some content soon. You know, I'm planting the seeds how we always do on live tonight, you know what I'm saying? And make some things happen with that. But I wanted to be realistic, and it's gonna be like kind of like a spinoff of Dose, where it could be at home, be at the gym or whatever. But the main thing is you should be able to do it kind of like wherever you're at, and it's gonna be practical. Like I never try to do things that's just gonna be to the point where someone else can't really do it, you know, unless it's certain physical and we starting a challenge.
Right.
Because I will say I done up the ante on the sled, and I got 4 plates on there now. So yeah, I'm going for
what's that? 100 or 200 pounds?
I don't even know. I ain't even
100
I'm just
100 on each side.
And go when it feel like I can't move it, and I got to strain too much, or I can't run with it. I'll push it. If I can't push it all the way, then it's time to take a plate off.
Oh, okay.
But,
do your daughter want to give her Instagram name? Pull it to you. Come on, you can share it with us. Let these people come follow you.
My Instagram name is it on?
Pull a mic to her, so she gonna talk tonight.
Get up to the mic. Like lean in.
Move her cut so she can pull it down. And be comfortable. There we go.
My Instagram name is Azana.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Azana.
Okay.
I'm sure Slick sending the wave up there. I see you, Slick. What's happening? You see what's going on downstairs, Slick.
Don't be scared of the mic. What's your real name? Now, don't give me your whole name, just your first name.
Azana.
Yeah. So don't be scared. It's not as bad as it seems.
I mean,
you already.
Because I'm going to interject you into this conversation. So you already sitting on the couch. So don't think you're just gonna be able to sit back and not be a part of the conversation. Especially sometimes we need a younger person's point of view of things. So this is going to be one of them topics where we're going to need your point of view as the father's daughter and the youthful person in the room, because I'm old as dirt. So we gonna get that up out you today.
Okay.
So, far as we were talking about great, I just want to piggyback off of when we were talking about the mental illness last week, and then you brought up the tennis player that was searching for greatness, because you gave me the topic of greatness, and you originally, we want it to be about what does it take to be great, but great can be broken down in many different aspects, because it's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, it's up for grabs with it, you know what I'm saying? It so first of all, I have the definition of it is of an extent or an amount or intensity which is considerably above the normal average or quality of eminence. But you know me, man, I gotta break some of them words down in there because they mean other things too. So before we start running off with the greatness, I want to say that eminent is pretty much like very well known and highly respected, which is why a lot of people will pretty much be saying celebrities are great or something like that, before we start looking at just like regular everyday people like you and I who do great things, you know what I'm saying, on a daily, or being a great parent, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna break all of that down. But yeah, it's basically subjective as well. So it's not like what we're saying is written in stone or what we're saying is fact. But what we try to do is we're trying to measure greatness on a positive level so that we can't negate it, you know what I'm saying? Because we are going to get into what if it's a person and they're a negative person, but they have a great trait about them, or they can do a great skill, but they, treat people bad, or maybe they're introverted, or maybe they just don't want to be around people to share other how they got their greatness or something similar to that. But so we'll start off with like basically like, okay, being great or good at a skill, and if you are not a good person, then you can possibly like taint your legacy. When there are certain people that are well known that may pass, if they've done something that was criminals, a lot of times, and they were judged for it, you know what I'm saying, by the judicial system, a lot of times that gets brought up by certain people that were either fans and are now not, or especially with social media out now, just basically plain old haters or people that be having criticism or critiques.
We got one good example of that just recently. Hulk Hogan, when Hulk Hogan passed.
Gonna say that.
He was. I'm not gonna lie. I was into wrestling when he was in wrestling. We all loved wrestling when he was in, and then unfortunately he tainted his whole legacy with wrestling, with his whole comments and racist thoughts and comments that he spurred, that got recorded and put out on the internet for all to hear and see. So that in itself tainted his greatness. Now some people say it shouldn't matter, he still was great for wrestling. Other people are saying, nah, we're not letting that slide. So that's one of those things where, I say it's good. We know that how he really felt about us, because we were probably some of the ones that were supporting the action figures and all that stuff. But at the same time, it taints his greatness. We have a lot of sports athletes that taint their greatness with, gambling and domestic abuse and stuff like that. And they be great athletes, but as a person, like we talked offline, they're terrible people. Allegedly. Now, let me say that part.
So to achieve the greatness, sometimes they're like sacrifices. So these people that we just said, you know what I'm saying, like that maybe could be great athletes and things like that, but then next thing you know, they may be sabotaging some of it. Could it be some of the sacrifices that they've done in the past that need to come back to haunt them? Maybe that's why they indulge in something else. Or could it be maybe that they've had to do something to maintain this, so now they're on a particular substance, or maybe an injury, because they want to try to be so great that you're playing through something that can harm you, that makes them, next thing you know, crash out.
Well, let me ask you a question. When we're talking about greatness and injuries, do you think a person who's great as an athlete before the injuries, but start taking other things to help them through the injuries, do you think that negates their greatness? Do you think that negates that person because now they're taking drugs to still be as great as they were?
Okay, so here's an interesting take on that, because I'm going to go to the side just a little bit, but be like, I think Grant Hill is a good example of could have been great, but injured himself, and maybe probably like Brandon Roy. But you have to look at it like nature took its course. And I think if you're injured and you try to sacrifice and continue to play, I think harming yourself detracts. It doesn't detract from you being any great or not, but I don't think you should put yourself in harm's way to try to be great. Like, give yourself time to heal.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you're phenomenal at what you're doing, we can tell that anyway. Like, that's why you still Hall of Fame material, because you actually were on that path to just being one of the GOATs, as they say. But, you know, injury is there and people are empathetic because actually some people, that's a great trait to have, to becoming a great person, to be empathetic, to sympathize with people. Because it's a lot of times when you have the vision or the perspective to try to see things from the person who is actually happening point of view, I think that's a good trait, or a trait to have. I think that's on the path to being great, or doing something great for somebody, or being great with the purpose. We can talk about how people are considered to be great because they can beat the competition, or they think that they're better than the competition. I think
I want us, and you this your show. You know, you the host. This is, you control this rhythm. I understand about the greatness in athletes and famous people, but I'm talking about us being great as just regular, everyday individuals. Like, you do great things. You do the acting. You do the, you do the exercise. You try to motivate people to do exercise. You even motivate people to think differently when you do this podcast. So I'm talking about us as regular folks. I don't want to say we're just regular folks, because we're stars too. Just ours just don't shine as bright. So I'm talking about.
Well, they do shine bright.
Right.
It's just that right now we're not in the eminence phase, meaning like very well known.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
that
we got our
doesn't
foot
mean
in the
you're not
door.
who you are. Well, if you're very well known, then...
Well, you are too. We both are.
Okay.
Everybody in this room, everybody in this building, everybody that comes around into this podcast arena, for me and for us, are eminent.
All right. Well, then if that's the case, then hey, man, people need to start tapping in, tuning in, and supporting them.
Right.
So we can spread our greatness.
So let me ask you a question: Is there do you think there's a time limit on greatness? Like, if there's a time before, like, if you don't do it by, let's say, 60, forget it.
Well, see, that depends on what you live in your life for, what your purpose is. Because if you have a skill or a trade, at some point you physically may not be able to do it. But that don't mean, if you're great at that right now, what do you do after that? Like, what if you treated people all harshly or something, or you just kept your trade to yourself, didn't want to pass it on, didn't want an apprentice, didn't have any kids or something like that? Like, who's to say that you were great? Or what else do you do after you stop to make yourself feel like you're great? Or you just have those moments and those stories where, hey man, your boy was fire, you know what I'm saying, back in the day when he did this and that. But if you're a great person, you're still on fire.
Right.
Your flame only dims when you expire.
You just shifted a little
bit.
Yeah,
so like, that's why great people do great things. Great people are creators. You can be great at something, but then that means you just spent your time doing that. But if you spent your life being what you are, which is great, it never stops.
Okay.
So it ain't a time limit on it. And mainly we should all be considered great when it comes to our offspring, our children, our family members, to be honest with you, your brothers. I hate to see sometimes there are parents out there that curse their children or blame their children or want to fight their children, or be mad at them, want to kick them out, and all these other things. Like, because I look at it like, you once them. Did you feel like you wanted that to happen to you?
Right.
And then I'm like, if a child is so undisciplined that you got to come to blows with them, then what did you do, or how are you failing, or how can you not have enough like savvy to change it?
Right.
And I know there are some people out there, plenty of people out there in situations where it just didn't pan out, but they think they're good parents. I mean, some could be delusional, I don't know. Some could have problems of their own that they didn't really want to face. But me, I'm always going to be rational and realistic. And like I be telling my daughter sometimes, hey man, if I get a little crazy, forgive me, let me know. Tell me, hey man, but we ain't really got them moments, that. You know what I'm saying? Now to be something like that over her. And I've had to tell her that too.
Right.
Like, don't let me get too crazy over you. She's like, we'll have a dad moment, another dad moment, And I just be like, man, look, but we don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, I represent her.
So Azaria.
Azana.
Azana. I'm sorry. Charged to my head, not
Okay.
my heart. Azana. When you think of greatness, what are some of the traits that you would contribute as a younger person in the world walking around? Because we always talk about how do we get through to the youth to get them to try to steer themselves and do better. So and we say, well, they not looking at us. They don't listen to us. Whatever. We've had many conversations, and many shows about that. So when you think of greatness as somebody you might feel like as a mentor, somebody you may listen to do better. I'm not saying you're doing bad, but I'm just saying if you were say if you were doing something and somebody say, hey, don't do it that way, do it this way. As a younger person, what would you have to see in a person in order for one to listen to him, but to say, oh, that person that might be a good or a great person?
Yeah. I think a test of like how great a person is like how they act when they're like when nobody is around, and it's not always easy to tell how somebody acts, when they're by themselves. But a big part of it for me is like reactions, and like they say, like pressure creates diamonds. So if like something, if there is like something going on or there's a situation where you need to handle, and you're like running around like a chicken with your head cut off, or you're like angry or projecting, like to me that's not great. That's like a sore loser. So I feel like if you know people for long enough, you see them go through like different things, and if they're always complaining and always like why me mentality, just a constant victim, that's not great to me. So people who are just, they always keep going, even if they're not where they want to be, I still feel like they're great because they know that like there's a plan and like for them already determined.
So would that be somebody you think you would take advice from? Not saying you're gonna take it over your dad or your mom or anything, but just we always talk about the youth and trying to get them to do right. So let's say if you was out wilding and somebody say, hey, Azan, don't do that.
Yeah.
And that person is a very decent person and you've seen greatness within them, would that be somebody you say, all right, I'm sorry, and try to straighten out a little bit? Or would it be it would have to be a little bit more that you would see in them before you would do something like that?
I mean, I don't know. I think about my grandma because she always like, she seen me like go through stuff, and she'll always tell me like, instead of reacting, you observe, and like people would just keep talking and talk themselves into like a circle. So I guess it's like when a lot of elders, I will listen to them. People my age, I don't know. Like I don't really listen to anybody until I get to know them.
Okay.
I don't really like to people get in my head.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
So I want to say this because this is funny, because in previous episodes I've told Lab, I said people that say they can't be around their kids 24/7 don't understand the real perspective. I was like, I'm with my daughter 24/7 because I'm in spirit, I'm in mind, and my teachings are with her. And what did she just say? Is her grandma right here right now?
Right.
Okay, so she was like, I listen to what sometimes it tricks. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you do what you're supposed to do, and you plant the seeds properly, and you treat your kids properly, because they are mini yous. Sometimes, man, you can, it's a bit of you in them,
right?
And they're gonna always keep that with them everywhere they go. Because if you're around them and in their life, that's why you can't neglect them and abandon them. You gotta be around them so they can see how you act, see how you are consistently. And then, I always tell my daughter that I love her, and just reassure her like she the best thing that ever happened to me, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So she can take that with her. And even if I ever get upset with something she may do, she done heard that I love you so many times and all of that she know this just event. It's gonna pass or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And we don't even have those like that. But I also want to get back to the script now and say, for some reason, more money is starting to make us great.
Think so?
Now, I can understand being great at making money, but more money doesn't really, to me, from my perspective, and since it's subjective, I don't think it makes you great. I think,
but, a lot of people do.
Of course, but it does have its benefits because it can give you, how can I say, more resources. You can be around more people. You can, I ain't gonna necessarily, you can affect more people. You can get more people to do what you need to do, or you can if you using money for good, I mean, you can get more information to become great. But just to thrust somebody up there just because of the amount that they have and their net worth, I mean, I think we do a little bit too much of that because of the eminence, and eminence are very well known, but what are you very well known for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And we are very guilty of that. We somebody makes some money and get a little money, and all of a sudden they become the money making guru. And they may have been lucky. You know, they may have had 1 or 2 hit singles that made them make a little decent money and do some concerts. But now we think they're a guru of making money now, and we want to ask them questions. Well, how you do it? And it wasn't nothing but luck. They had the right song at the right time, or they invested in something at the right time. They not necessarily a guru of making money, but they just flipped the coin and said heads or tails. But we always tend to turn towards them people and think, oh, I mean, like I even see Rick Ross, they getting financial advice from him, and I'm like, he rapped, was a little bit smarter with his money and invested in a couple of things. He's not necessarily a guru.
Make more money, exactly. He's not great at it. It's other people. Basically, he's branded it.
Right.
But I would like to say this because I thought this was great. A few weeks ago, you know what I'm saying, a coworker was telling me that they have to go home and get ready to wake up early because they're going to go put some sandwiches together and go get some hygiene type stuff like toothbrushes and toiletries and things like that, and put like a little package together to give to like the homeless people. And that's what, like, she felt like she had to like sacrifice going out, put some money aside to go. I think those type of things are great, and those are just average everyday people. You know what I'm saying? I think people at the hospital that bring canned goods and they bring their coats and jackets and they give it to either the thrift store or they put it in those cans right there for volunteering. You know, I think that's great.
Your servitude to others is always great. Your servitude to others and being merciful and giving them grace is a great quality. It's greatness. Not all of us can do it, and most of us don't want to.
And the popularity don't make you great, and I think a lot of people that end up being the people that I know that end up being considered great, I don't think they set out to be great, or not necessarily that I know, but that I look up to. Like I would say, like some of our civil rights activists were just kind of like born to do it. They weren't sitting around like, how great am I going to be? Or how great do I look? They were sitting around like, I need to help our culture. Like, how can we help lift our people up? How can we stop these injustices? And we perceive that as great, which is what we should be doing.
Right.
And we should actually be keeping that torch going, since that was great, and it actually made great things happen for us to a degree.
And I want to touch on something you said. We should keep that torch going. But the greatness that they had within themselves is something that they wasn't necessarily. It wasn't something that they were necessarily striving for. They were more striving for the freedom and the freedom and not being abused, of their people, not being abused. And I think the problem that we have why we can't keep that going is because nowadays people don't want the greatness just for the greatness, or don't want to do the process just because they want to make sure that they are trying to free their people, or trying to make sure that their people are not being abused and getting justice and getting the injustice away and getting more justice for them. Every time you see somebody doing something good for somebody, they got the camera on and they gotta post it. Now, I guess it's okay, but if I'm going to do something good for somebody, I'm not going to turn my camera on, because for one, they might not want you to know that they struggling. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't like those type of things, because we talk about Malcolm, Martin, Louis, Huey, and all those guys when back in the 60s, how they did things to free our people and get some more justice for us. But they did it, without the glitz and glamour. You know what I'm saying?
What would be the difference then between us doing it and a journalist doing it? Because I will say this, like, I'll turn the camera on someone that I'm helping if they want to expose the people that are around and the conditions so that people can see what's happening to come down.
That's different.
Yeah, but I say I'm not going to do it because, hey, this is what I'm doing today. Look at this. That's
the difference.
Yeah. I don't do it like that. But and another thing too is, man, it's always about consent. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of the times, man, you're absolutely right. Like for those people that it's somebody out there I saw, they had a homeless dude rapping. You know what I'm saying? I forgot. Yeah. And I mean, for shits and giggles, it's funny, but like, damn, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you really even help this guy? You know what I'm saying?
Or did you just record and post it? Did
Exactly.
you even give him any money, or did you even do anything to help him with the situation? I mean, we can't do we can't give him a place to live, but you can do some things. I mean, it's been many times that I walked in somewhere to get something to eat. Somebody said, "Man, can you give me some money?" And I said, "No, but I can bring you something to eat."
I do think we should have more cinematic filming of positive things with people trying to do great things, as opposed to more of the, you know what I'm saying, what sales type stuff. You know, and that's the funny thing, man. You really do have people in poverty, and they'll try to do like make crackheads fight rather than just pay them and try to get them off the drugs or something like that, or help them. You see what I'm saying? So, but that's a story, you know what I'm saying, for another time. I will say this though, being a great person versus being great at something. I would rather just be a great person.
Is there? You think there's
the great at something, like, because
you think there's a difference, kind of?
Yeah, it is. Because okay, what if I'm just a great painter?
Okay.
So I'm good at that. Well, now obviously you can always paint, you know what I'm saying, until you physically can.
Right.
But I'm just saying for certain things, for the people that have to do it physically wise after a while, and you're not doing it character wise.
Okay.
Then what happens after you served your physical purpose of being quote unquote great? Because some people might not think you great anyway, because it's subjective. But if you do go down as one of the GOATs for whatever it is that you've done, it could be architect wise, building houses or something like that. But let's say you can't nail the hammer anymore, and nobody's talking about you on that level anymore.
Right.
Then will you still want to be considered great, or does it even matter? Because some people don't even give a damn whether they're great or not.
And
they're just living life.
And I guess that goes into my next question, because you segue very well. Who determines your greatness? You or other people around you? Like, who determines that? Like you just said, a guy's an architect. He does great, architectural drawings and builds great, historical type buildings, but he can't do that anymore. So does his greatness go away? Did he determine that he was great because of the buildings he built, because of what he did, or did someone else determine that those buildings were great?
To that could be how eminent he was at it from doing it. Like how many people knew him because of the skill. You see what I'm saying? It could be how wealthy he became from it. It could be how durable, how long lasting whatever it was that he did. It could be how intricate and how difficult it is to duplicate it. Like, if can anyone else pull off the structures that he did and make it stand for as long, or make it weatherproof or something like that. Yeah, all those things could go into like, yeah, he was great at that. You see what I'm saying? Cool. And that's gonna probably forever remain to a degree unless someone else can do it better or duplicate that. But a lot of times, sometimes people feel like when they can no longer do some things, they may get depressed, and because they can't physically do that, and feel like they no longer have a purpose. Whereas in certain people who just feel like they want to go through life being good and get better, or doing good deeds for people, or do things, like I said, that could just be considered greatness, timeless. Like, you can make music till, you know what I'm saying, I guess maybe you can't sing anymore, but if you control your voice to a degree, or then you can write the music, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Or you can play the music or something, so you can still probably remain relevant, or you can teach it to someone else and they have your method and keep it going. Something like that, like leaving a legacy. But if you don't do that, then, I mean, like I say, greatness to some people, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't really care if someone looks at me as whether I'm great or not. I'm not necessarily here to be great. I'm here to help. I'm here to
be great. I'm here to be great at helping. Slick says social media make people do things and look great, and they're not. She says people are
I
great
got
enough
you.
for the gram. Others deem you great.
Yes, exactly. Greatness, like I say, is always, I think, is subjective. And you really, to me, a true great is the perspective of another person. Because to me, I think a quality or a trait of becoming great is humility. Or like, okay, it's good because I've practiced. or maybe because I've done this and that. You can kind of explain and you want to teach, or you're not necessarily, I know it's great. You know what I'm saying? It's better than you. Like, seriously. It's just like, okay, like, how would you feel, you know what I'm saying, if you were like, hey, man, I like that haircut. I'm like, I know you do.
Right.
You're supposed to like what I do. You know what I'm saying? But like, damn, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, last time I compliment you, you about to punch me for saying you like it.
I'm laughing because I say stuff like that. People like,
but it's funny though,
right? People like, I like that mix. I like that blend you did when you were DJing. I know you do.
I mean, and I'm gonna be honest with you,
but I'll be just messing around.
Yeah. But now, see, if you're competing to be great, sometimes you might have that Ali in you where you're gonna be like, yeah, I am the greatest, and I know, you know, because you have to speak it into existence. You see what I'm saying? And if you said it, other people will say it and possibly believe it too. I think he's the only one that I've seen that really proclaimed it and was smooth enough for it to stick, to
make everybody else believe
it, as opposed to certain people who say they are and people are mad about it, or they start going to your stats and start bringing out other folks. You know what I'm saying, and all of that.
Slick says, think of the Guinness Book of Records. Do you think the people in those are great?
Well, it's funny you say that because I had a talk with somebody about like Ripley's Believe It or Not, and the dude, what's Stan Lee. Literally went around to try to find almost like real life Marvel type character people with kind of like superhuman powers, and I think that's great. You see what I'm saying? So it's definitely subjective to, you know what I'm saying, what we thinking. But now that I say, I kind of think that's a bit of an edge because not everybody could do what those people that Stan Lee saw could do. Right. So that's like, you ain't even got to self-proclaim you great. Like, even if you did, you can kind of say, well, I can walk up walls like this. And yeah, you can. I can't. Right. I have to tip my hat off to you on that one. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's so outlandish that I really won't want to try that anyway. So I'm going to give you great points on that. But that you just great at that, though. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, I get it. It
don't mean you're a great, let's say, father. You could be an alcoholic, but you do that.
Right. You see, I mean, you could be an alcoholic and a terrible father, but know how to put cars together from scratch.
Well,
be great at that.
We've seen plenty of those in the music world.
Right.
So yeah, you're definitely right. Put them cars together.
Right.
For sure though.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of them. You're right. Put cars together, can play an instrument. Sometimes I'm gonna be sad. I don't really want to say it, but sometimes the drink be making them play better, man. You know, because they be depending on that, but that don't necessarily mean they should. But when that happens, that's a bad situation, right? Because now it's like you need that.
Do you think that people can drive themselves crazy by striving for greatness?
Yes, if it's physical. And well, see,
I think both ways. I think physically and mentally.
How do you want to mentally be great all the time?
Well, you're not mentally great, but your mental can be damaged because you're striving and working so hard towards that thing that you think is greatness. You get what I'm saying? So it's not that you're mentally great; it's that your mental is damaged, and your mental, you know, you can drive yourself crazy with it because you're working so hard to be great at this one particular thing, but it seems to be, just a little bit out your grasp.
Would you equate great with perfection?
No.
All right. You can't reach perfection.
No,
but we've seen
perfection is
people reach
unreachable.
greatness, right?
Right.
So then, like I said before, greatness should come to you naturally without you having to force it. Or greatness, you should attract. It should be kind of an attraction of what you got going on to make it, how can I say, manifest overall.
Yeah, you would think that, but people, I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it when we do these podcasts. I'm always striving for greatness. I'm always striving for all the podcasts to be great in their own individual way. And yes, I sit down here and I go through and I think about it. I write it down. And yes, it drives me to the edge of insanity because I'm seeing other mess become great or I'm sorry, not great, but popular. And I'm thinking we got better stuff.
You just said what I was going to tell you. Boy, check this out, though. Rather than get stressed about it, why don't you flip your perspective on it and say, first of all, in order to be great, you have to get better. You can get better before you get great, then, can't you? So that's like achieving a short-term goal. But the key word you just said to me that was triggering was you said we got better stuff. So on your route to greatness, as long as we keep having better stuff, man, it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, you can't get great without getting better. So focus on what you can do to make this better first. And the next thing you know, we might start attracting to being great. And some of it's already happening. Like, you know, we have a youth on here now. You know what I'm saying? Also, we've had guests on here before. You know, I'm working with youth, so I'm starting to hear certain things, and I see how they look at me when I talk to them. They be just like you. Like, believe it or not, they be okay. So one of them asked me what was the topic gonna be about today. And then I was like, I'm gonna have my daughter with me. It's like, really? You know what I'm saying? So, and they want to know. So, and when I hit them with what I hit them with, they be just like you. Well, I wouldn't have thought of it that way, or I didn't know you could break it down with in how you're doing it and make it make sense. You know, so I guess, you know, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. We're already good at it. We're getting better at it, and you already know what come next, huh?
Slick say, do you feel like you're letting someone down by not being great enough?
The only person I would feel like I let down by not being great enough would be someone that depends on me, which would probably be my daughter. Or my mom and my dad, if they really need me for something, you know what I'm saying? My family members. I don't want to let my job down from time to time, really, because there are patients that's dependent on me, you know. But I don't really have to be, like I say, considered to be great just to continue to move, because I've never really been told. I have been told I've been great though, a couple of times. So I like that. You know what I'm saying? Seriously though. And I didn't take it lightly, because you don't hear those words a lot. You know, it sticks out when it does, because it's like, damn. Because I'll be like, I use the word awesome a lot. You know what I'm saying? She know, I'd be like, you awesome. You know, have an awesome day, have a great day. Yeah, that's why she back there smiling. She done heard these words all numerous times. Yeah. And I hear gracias. Appreciate you.
Well, me personally,
thanks.
When I'm striving for great things, and when I'm striving to be better at certain things, and I'm doing it for a reason, for a purpose. Like when I do it for you guys, I feel like if we're not getting to the threshold that I think we should be at, I feel like sometimes I'll be letting you guys down. You know, I feel like that because there's a certain point within certain things that you have in your mind where you think you should be at. And those things are yes, you're right. You're right, universe. See how?
Oh, that's thunder?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I'm about to make it right up in here. Okay, I heard that.
At certain points where you think that you should be at and where you think things should be. Those things aren't necessarily, if you're not at those points, you could feel like you're letting people down because you're not necessarily great, but you don't feel like you're getting better.
But see, that's wherein lies we were talking about the empathy and compassion, which makes people become great people, regardless if you've executed what you wanted to execute for us. Because at some point, I know that trait in you will stem beyond what this is. Meaning, like if I break down on the side of the road, I could probably call Lab because I can already tell by how you're empathizing towards this, how you want things to happen for you and me. You know what I'm saying? And I've already talked to you offline, so I know you're a type of person that would be, you know, will show up.
Right, I'm gonna come.
Them the people that's great to me.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, because I'm about to get on one thing. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm gonna get on that a little bit later. But it goes into something else. But you know, I will say this, because from what you're saying, it's like sometimes if you're striving and you want to be great, you can always look at it like this, because wanting to be great sometimes doesn't mean you're a good person. Because remember this particular Olympian that tried to pay somebody to knock off another Olympian so that they could try to be great and win a gold medal. So just because you want to be great at something doesn't mean you always have good tendencies. You just said something that was a good tendency. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by, like, greatness don't always have to be a famous, eminent person, a person with a lot of money, a popular person. You don't always have to necessarily succeed in what you want to do for me to understand what you're trying to do is great.
Right.
Okay, we got, this was what I said that I didn't necessarily want to allude to. We on it now. Okay, because what you're doing sometimes, I would say you have to understand feeling great versus being great. Because a lot of people out here do things that make them feel great, but that don't necessarily mean it's either great for them, or that don't mean they're a great person, or that don't mean what they're doing is great. Because sometimes you can use substances to try to feel great.
Right.
But sometimes love make you feel great too, don't it?
Exactly.
Exercise make you feel great too, don't it? So I think things that are positively that induce a great feeling is better than something like a vice that would make you have a great feeling. Because for some of us who may not necessarily think we have a purpose to be a great person, we all want to do things that make us feel great. We all do things that we think are great for us, or that we think it's great that we're doing it. Exactly. So
we always look for that. We always try to get that. When we know that we feeling good about something, we feeling good physically, or whatever the case may be, we strive for them things. That's how people get addicted to certain drugs. You know, they looking for that euphoria that you get from it.
But
so
this can also be flipped this way. Oh no! Look at that. This can also be flipped this way though. Sometimes because somebody makes somebody feel great doesn't mean that they're a great person for them. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that could be physical. Sometimes that could be somebody that's probably just funneling money to you. You feel great about that or something, you know, that don't, or they could probably just give some great advice or some good advice, but they're not a great person maybe in what they may do for you or to you. They just may be talking great or something like that, or tell you what you want to hear. So you definitely have to be able to.
Do you think a person can actually sustain making you feel great all the time? Like, not all the time, but on a consistent basis.
Now that right there, to me, sometimes that's something that you shouldn't do. Meaning you shouldn't subject yourself to that pressure. You should naturally just be trying to be nice or do things like I say, because that's considered great to us. So it ain't like, you know, like when you try to set a standard and always try to shoot above it and beyond it, it depends on how it's reciprocated too. But you still want it so that if you don't hit that mark all the time, you're considered to be the person that you are. You know what I'm saying? As far as what your characteristics are concerned. That's why I said some characteristic traits can make you be a person that's considered to be great, and you don't really lose those traits. And everybody can see those traits in you. You know, what about the jolly person that can cook good, that always has something to give to somebody, is always saying something nice to somebody, that could probably hum or harmonize a little bit, sound like she in church or something like that, never ever says anything bad about anyone, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Always try to be like,
why they humming in church? Your daughter started laughing.
I don't know, bro.
She making me laugh. She like, why is he humming in church?
Hey, man, you know, it's just some people that got that spirit to them. You see what I'm saying?
I get it.
Or it's some people, you know, it's like you never see them down.
I get it. They always seem to be cheerful.
Yeah, you know, and so you tend to be thankful for that from time to time. And like I say, people, I do like this though. People will call you great, and they'll call you a great father. They're willing to call you that with ease when they see how you speak about them all the time.
Right.
And if they see that, you know, your child is doing great things, and they see you in their life, or they see you breaking bread, they ain't got no problem saying that you're great. But it's if that's all you think I'm great at is this fatherhood, I'm down for that too.
Right. But do you think people will tell you that you're great, or you're great at something? See, this is the thing I think. People will tell you you're great at something, or you're great if you're doing something that benefits them.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what's funny. Well, I'm gonna get to that. Hold on, let me write this down though, so I won't forget this. But yeah, I mean, but that's kind of like, I would say, a fair weather type person. You don't really think I'm great. You just like the reward that's coming from being associated with me. Because people who think I'm great sometimes reciprocate, or they're concerned. They bounce back. How are you? How's your day? Just checking in. You know what I'm saying? They are concerned with what I got going on. They ask how your family doing. shoot, if you need to borrow something, you can. You know what I'm saying? That's how someone who thinks you're great treats you, not just always got a handout. Yeah, he great because he always giving me something.
Right.
But you never doing anything, in return. People who if you think somebody's great, a lot of times you'll help them. Or you'll do something for them.
Right.
Or you might do what they say because you think they're a great person. Or you genuinely like them. So it's not hard.
How many great people have you think you met in your life that you consider great by your own definition and own requirements of greatness?
Sometimes it depends on, I would say, my mood and what I'm my season and how I'm thinking, because you can try to find the good and great in everything or everybody, but that take time for it to present itself. So now you gotta, cut corners. Honestly, if you impress me by consistency in doing things that I would say would be creative, then I kind of think you have a great quality.
Right.
I'll say a guy that I used to do that does floor tile, and Al. I think he's great, a great talent as far as he can play the guitar. I haven't I haven't seen him not be able to fix something, and it will only be now because of his age that he couldn't do it.
Right.
But I will say, personality-wise, sometimes he kind of, ruffle feathers with a lot of people.
Okay.
But think about maybe like an Albert Einstein. You think he may have ruffled a few feathers or something, even though he was considered to be great. Tesla, obviously. Did. So I think when you start seeing people that are great at things like,
hey, Miss Mix-a-Lot,
like that, Miss Mix-a-Lot, you see my baby in the background?
Azana. Did I say it right? Yeah. Azana in the building.
But I call a spade when I see it. Like, you really, really good at something, man. And that don't mean you might not be. But the reason why I said it was great is because everyone that comes across would have to be hands down. That's good work. That's good work. That's good. How do you do it? And they can, and it's what they can't do. So, now people in the architecture world and the tile, it's
they consider Frank Lloyd Wright great.
Yes, it's probably
looked at some of his stuff and it's terrible.
Look at Picasso.
Look to me. Yeah,
he's considered the iconic great artist, and I really don't like none of it. But I'm gonna tell you this.
Pollock.
I'm gonna tell you what could have tipped the scales of him being great though, because although he did that abstract stuff, he had sculptures and casts, and those weren't abstract. So maybe that. You know what I'm saying?
Basquiat, they consider his great.
I don't like that either. I was gonna say that's another.
I like his art, but I have a hard time understanding.
It's dark to me.
It's a dark thing. So Azana, when you think of greatness, have you met anybody that you would consider great besides your dad? X him out.
Like, I don't consider him great.
But anybody else that you may have been like, no, by your standards and by what you think of as a great person.
Does it have to be like outside of my family?
No, it don't have to be. It could be whoever you want it to be. I just didn't want it to be your dad because we always know dad's going to be in the picture. We're talking about someone else. It could be anybody.
My grandma Gigi, I feel like she was great. That was my great grandma, so well, she is my great grandma, but just being around her, she always had like advice, and just everybody was always talking about how, like, even if she didn't want to be direct with it all the time, she would just ask you questions, and it wasn't because she didn't know, but it was because she wanted to see if you knew. So and she was just like an educator and just very involved in like her students' lives, and I learned a lot of that at her funeral because I didn't realize how much people she impacted, like the way that she impacted me. And she just, everybody was just talking about how she would always be so prideful of like her family, and she had like a quote. Cause I would like look at her stuff. She's on like historymakers.com. So I saw like her, I knew everything, her favorite food, everything. She likes the crab leg, lobster tails. And her quote was, "I cannot be made nervous." And I never heard anybody say that before. So but that's how she was. Like, she step in the room, she would talk to anybody. She was very outspoken, always.
Yeah,
that's a very good trait of a great person. You are right on that one.
And the reason why I can double down on, I see, because it's kind of like she was like a celebrity, to be honest with you. She has pictures with celebrities, you know what I'm saying? Lena Horne, she knew Felicia Rashad, Martin Luther King, like she knew Andrew Young, John Lewis, all of them, like in that circle. And what stood out to me a lot too is the young women that she pretty much mentored, or that were encouraged by her, will always call her Auntie Gigi. And you know, and so pretty much she had that, like, you're my daughter type thing vibe for all the young women that were around. And she left a legacy at Spelman where my daughter probably could have like used some of that, but her actually like being tradition to the family, just, you know, did her own thing, you know what I'm saying? And is carving out something just like her grandma do, carving out her own legacy.
But that imprint, that impression, like Miss Mixlot says, you know, that type of wisdom can't be bargained with. That impression that she made on your daughter is very eminent, because you can see the smile on her face from ear to ear when she talks about her grandmother. And those are I mean, I get like that when I think about my grandmama. And I'm old as dirt, so I think about that when I get because you know, your grandmother affects you, everyone differently. But if you're around your grandmother, you see that you're doing great things, and it may not be great to this person, but it's great to me. You know what I'm saying? She's doing things that you wouldn't expect her to do. It does implant an image into your mind like that. That was a great person. Now, since you're talking, someone on Instagram has a question for you, Azana. What does Azana think of people doing things on or for IG?
They ask you questions, they don't ask me nothing. Look at that. Go ahead, though. You got it, champ.
Well, I actually got Instagram in 6th grade. So 12 years old was when I started Instagram. I didn't have any social media, and this girl was like, you just need to get on Instagram. And it was really different back then. Everybody would post like what they're eating, their lunch, their shoes. It was just so creative. Everything, like, you see somebody's page, you could just tell their whole personality. And now it's like, I actually did a thesis about this in college. It was like 34 pages actually. Right. But and I had to interview like 15 girls, like some were white, black, African, rich, poor. And they were just talking about how like they felt like they had to curate a specific brand for themselves because they didn't know who would be looking at their page, if it would be like a job or like anybody. So they all like have like private pages that like like only close people know about. And just all this stuff. And it's just, to me, that's just so complicated for just an app online where they're like, it's not real. And I don't know, the other day I was out for my birthday, and there's this girl with like a bunch of followers. And, you know, I would look at her stuff because she was selling like master classes on how to, like, you know, but I wasn't buying it. I was like, okay, she seems to have some things going on for herself. And then she didn't have a section. She was in my stuff, asking me for my stuff and all this. And I mean, I'm not like, trying to style. Like, I didn't mind. But when I went online, she posted that she had a hosting and that the club asked her to come out, and they gave her a section and had everything for her. And I was sitting there like, well,
it's my section.
Right. So it was kind of just like, wow, like none of this stuff is real at all. It's just not real at all. None of it.
Yeah, see, that's that striving for greatness. You're trying to be great off someone else's accomplishment. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah. Okay.
I want to say this though, Lab, because you mentioned something a little bit earlier, and I put this down as a side note because I wanted to get back to it. But you mentioned something. You mentioned about a job, and it's funny because in all my job performances, as far as when you get evaluated, you're never going to hear anything like great.
No.
They never really try to, and you could be working great and doing great work, and they can tell you that outside of the evaluation, if they do, but you never get it when it counts to. So you can get actually more money. See, once you start exceeding expectations and you become great, now you become more valuable. They're gonna have to make them words match what they're saying.
Right.
So I just found that interesting. That's why I mean it's like I'ma do me, and I try to treat, like I say, I try to come in there and just do the best I can anyway, because my work ethic is like my signature. See what I'm saying? You know, when I try to do something, I try to be the best at it that I could be. Like great could be an adjective if you want to use it, but I just don't think it gets respected like that from when you're pretty much employed by a corporation, as opposed to if maybe you are on some entrepreneurship stuff where what you bring your creativity to the table and it's making everybody money. You definitely could probably hear, wow, that's great, I like that design or something like that, or you know, we got a lot of buyers on this one, it's awesome and stuff like that.
Right.
Or you know, even if it's we have a firm and you know, like let's say and I'm writing grants for you or something like that or whatever, just you still, when it's a little bit more personable, you get better, I would say, not credit but better recognition than you do when it's kind of corporate like that.
See, like and I'm going to say, you know, I've had evaluations before, but I remember one in particular supervisor in general. When I was getting my evaluation, I know I'm doing great things. I mean, you know, they can't tell me I'm not doing all the stuff right. Everything is the T's, I crossed the I's, I dotted, I'm in there. And the first thing he tells me when he do I look at my evaluation, I say, what's this? He said, look, I'm never going to give you all 10s.
Yeah,
that's never going to happen, because if I give you all 10s, then you have nothing to work towards.
Oh no,
see, that's the mentality he was thinking. I'm thinking, no,
you know what? You passed the 10s anyway,
right? I'm gonna always have something to work for, because I'm not working to please you. I'm working to please me.
Exactly.
And I'm trying to make myself better, because I'm trying to learn everything I can from you while I'm with you, in case I have to leave you. That's my thinking always. Lion Love says, kids like to pretend she is correct. But Layla, this is a grown woman. She just graduated from college. She might look like a child. She 22. She
talking about kids.
That's
an adult.
That's an adult right there. But I get we get what you're saying.
Yeah. We like looking.
She's a young, intelligent black woman, and I want it to be known.
Yeah, I appreciate that, lad.
Oh, another question for Azana. Sorry.
Ask
Azana how she feels about her dad and his music and him not really performing or putting out anything.
That's gotta be Slick. That's Slick. Man, Slick, you ain't even say who it is.
Slick says, how do you feel
I could actually answer that, but I'm not going to.
She want Azana to answer
it anyway before.
She want Azana to answer.
I know.
How do you feel about your dad's music career and him making all these albums and records and not putting them out or not performing them anywhere?
I mean, we were just talking the other day, and he was just talking about the podcast and everything that he wanted to do online. And I was just saying, I brought up the music, and I was like, you could incorporate that into your media and like maybe like add clips of it and stuff at the end of the thing. You know how he played the intro, maybe as the outro, you could play another song and like a new song every time. I don't know. That's what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah, he won't give me no new songs though. Oh. He won't send them to me. He's let me sample them, but he won't send me any of his new stuff. So why? And she telling you what to do.
So yeah, she do. But see, she know too. I be like, when you get home, it's on. When you get home, it's on. See, now I want to see if she want to get in the booth. Well, we baby stepping. She getting in the gym with me. She on my show. So, this is my rider now. You know what I'm saying? It's just when she motivated to want to do it. And I was telling you, I was like, I really think, you know what I'm saying? She can be the energy that I need to like get me over
push
the hump.
You forward, right?
And so, like, she's mainly with me business wise too, because she about to start helping me crack the pen and getting this black and white paperwork together.
Right.
So we can start getting you what you're asking for. And I want her to be on some of it. So,
Lady Love, we know you didn't mean no disrespect. We just, we appreciate you tuning in. We know it's all love when it comes with you. We know it's all love when it comes from you. Trust me. Slick says he won't even promote himself on IG.
Hey, while you tripping, I be trying to get her to do it for me. Like, I'm old school, Slick, man. Like, the first thing that come to my mind don't really be all of this. Like,
right.
I'm really like a creator. So I'm kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I'm one of those, like, how you almost have to live your role. Like, my life is my creations. So I'm not on, like, the web creating things. Right. I'm creating it in real life to bring it to the web. So, but yeah, when I roll out, I'm gonna have some ambassadors. I'm gonna have some promotion teams. Like, we're gonna start trying to hit it hard, because just because I do it don't mean it's still gonna, get everybody coming through. I want a movement. You see what I'm saying?
Lady Love say, help him out, Azana.
I will.
Yeah, that's why she here. It's a little process, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand, she like a chip off the old block too now. Like, it's not like we kind of about to do this together. Right. She don't necessarily, let me get on the ground. Let me get on the ground. No, right. She just, be observing things. She seemed
pretty laid back.
Yeah, pretty. She's more laid back than me. If you didn't say all of this, she wouldn't be saying that. But then on the way home, boy, we ain't gonna stop talking, and she'll be like, Dad, I think this and I think that, and I think this, that. And I just listen, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, man, well, why didn't you say it? Right. She's like, nah,
yeah,
the time or whatever.
This a safe space right here. We talk about any and everything. Yeah. You got something you want to say, even if it has nothing to do with the topic, say it. One thing he good at, he'll steer it some kind of way towards the topic. So yeah.
Good at it. But that's kind of like, I was telling people today that this is like a great moment for me, because out of all the episodes I've done, out of all the times I've talked about it and talked about her, now it's like I can look over my shoulder and bam. So this is one that I like to cherish. This is one to grow on. This is one of these episodes, like a milestone episode for me. It's gonna stand out. You never know. I might get my mom's on here one day, or some of my brother.
Right.
If I can pull it off, you know what I'm saying? They probably gonna want to see it.
You can make a family affair. They ain't want to see it how long. What?
Oh, she'll come. Grandma'll come for her. Probably.
Right.
Yeah. But she probably would.
Yeah.
If she asks,
we got to get her to come. You got to get her to come towards the fall months where it's not as warm down here, because until we get that air conditioner put in.
Well, either that or yeah.
Yeah, we don't want mama uncomfortable.
Cold coming up out of here too.
I don't want mama. Well, we get heaters for that. That'll be a little bit better, but it's hard to cool down. It's easier to warm up.
So
that's a scientific fact.
Here's a good question. Are we living in times where do you think we've seen...
Lady Lila say why he look like Jaheim?
Like who?
Jaheim.
Oh man. Hopefully it's the one.
The early Jaheim.
Please let it be the early 2000s movies.
Well favored. She said, well, you favorite Jaheim. The one the anything Jaheim.
Yeah, not the one now.
Not the current Jaheim.
Yeah, if it's the current one, I might have to be like, we're going to put you on timeout. We're not going to respond to you for about a month. Because I'm still kind of side-eyeing you. You know what I'm saying? But you done made me forget whatever I was going to say now. But hey, man, now I got to go home. I'm going to think about this one.
Right.
Shit. But, man, yeah. Oh, yeah. What I was asking or about to say is, do you think there were people doing greater things in our past or compared to now? Like, are we stagnated? Because I said last week we was damn near in the dark ages.
We stagnated right now. I believe that we are stagnated when it comes to a creative standpoint and things that are, we may have little flashes here and there, but I think that we really are stagnated at this point with creativity. Unfortunately, everybody wants to repeat the same thing. Like I was telling somebody the other day, podcast wise, 30,000 new podcasts start every day.
Yeah,
30,000. So, You know, people sit up and they sit on their couch and say, man, we need to talk about this. If you're talking about somebody already talking about that.
Clearly.
It's not nothing new.
Yeah.
It's just you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So I think that as far as creativity is concerned, we're stagnant. I'm a DJ. It's probably so many DJs now because the equipment companies have made it so much easier to become a DJ. You don't need 2 turntables and a mixer no more. You get one little board and a computer and you're a DJ tomorrow. So
yeah,
everybody's a rapper now. You know, everybody wants to be in entertainment, a producer, promoter, a social media influencer, a social media promoter who can get you more followers. So I believe that as far as creativity is concerned, we are stagnant.
So, I mean, you could say that clearly because it's like everybody now got the formula or the format and want to try it out. But once again, everybody can make a pizza, but that don't mean it's gonna taste better. You know what I'm saying?
But it won't stop them from trying, and that's the point where we're at. Everybody's trying to make that pizza. We don't know it's good yet until we try it.
But,
so you got all these pieces in the oven.
But in our instances, people aren't us. So it's like once people get to hear us talking and they see, you know what I'm saying, and hear what other people are talking about, they may choose just, hey man, this is more on a wavelength or more of what I can deal with. It's not too overboard, you know what I'm saying? It's not too statistical or too informational where I can't relate to it. Like some of these people could possibly be doing some things while they're listening to us in the background and be like, man, he ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? And then probably do something else and then hear something else I said. Because even though they may not listen to me all the way through, but they don't turn from me, what I'm saying and who I am has gotten me still on the screen till it's over with.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to take the amount of time that I'm taking, because a lot of times, bro, like the people that listen to me or that look at me, if I know some of them or some of them know me, we could literally have these same conversations and not even be on a podcast format. You see what I'm saying? Like, these are some intellectual, smart people that I respect that listen to me. You see what I'm saying? Or that tune in. Or cool people, funny people, you know what I'm saying? Relatable people, people that empathize as well. You know what I'm saying? And people that pretty much can understand exactly what we're talking about when we talk about this.
Right.
They don't have to move like how I move for me to still respect them. You know what I'm saying? Because I respect the fact that they're listening to me. They may live vicariously through me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's pretty cool. But like I say, man, everybody ain't gonna physically do what it really takes, and everybody doesn't necessarily have to hold that burden,
right? Because
like we always say, I mean, as long as you're living how you want to live and you taking care of you, that's what's really counting. I'm all for that, as long as you ain't harming nobody or putting the sacrifice on someone, you know, like taking their money or trying to make the job worse or whatever in your, you know what I'm saying, pursuit of whatever your own living you and doing you and your happiness is about.
Layla says, my daughter set up mines for me to watch and communicate while we're in the house. So she helped me. Slick says, we do not yet have any Martins or Malcolms in our current situation. So we are stagnant. I think she believes that we're stagnant as well.
I think we have, like, I would say, sleeper Malcolms and Martins. Meaning, like, people out there that live their life daily and, you know, around certain circles where, you know, fly that flag, like speak, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't happen a lot. Or we know what happens when you try to form something like that to the point where it gets universal. People start, like, you know what I'm saying, analyzing who you are, right, and trying to pull you apart and tear you down. So I think, like, the other day, man, when I rolled up to a park, it's like people that understand a certain language, they're gonna start calling you an OG, and then you'll be like, yeah, man, I just come up here for peace. I listen to my music. I might watch people walk a little bit. I get my fresh air. I walk around the park, then I go. I ain't with all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to trash the park. When you see these youngsters and these funny characters, I move. Then the next thing you know, we talking about, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Did you see on the news the other day up on MLK, they had the yellow tape? Yeah, that's sad, man. I don't understand why these youngsters be wilding out like that, man. You try to tell them something, you know what I'm saying? Those that you can't reach, you can't. It's a lot of people out there like that. Right. You see what I'm saying? But we spread out. Now, whether or not they...
Like Lionel said she like that.
Hey, okay, but she tuned in right now.
Right.
So now whether these people want to turn the cameras on themselves and start talking to people and putting certain like phrases and sayings and stuff like that, post that every day, that's something different. I thought about that because that's kind of how I started out. I would make posts kind of based on maybe what I thought about or what I would like, what interests me that I thought was maybe a conspiracy type theory or whatever, but it wasn't speaking loud enough for me. It wasn't. It was getting comments. Now we back here, back and forth debating on whether something is real or not, rather than just talking about some things that we almost could see, touch, taste, hear, feel. You know what I'm saying? Like that, or that we've already experienced, or that we don't want to experience, or that we can imagine, or that we can start putting things together. Like when we were talking about living off the grid and stuff. Like we want to start trying to project type realities that you know what I'm saying, with what we talk. Like almost basically like manifesting, but preparedness. Each one teach one, passing on what we know, man. I mean, rather than passing on gossip.
Right.
Or passing on someone's negative experience.
Well, we good at passing on gossip. We'll pass on gossip before we pass on knowledge every day, all the time. That's what gets us. That's what gets us the likes and the views, is the gossip and the BS. We gonna put that forefront first before we do anything else. Unfortunately, that is a side effect of social media.
And see, that keeps up mess. It keeps up confusion,
and it diminishes your greatness. It can diminish your greatness.
Well, yeah, and stain the legacy. You see what I'm saying? And then you first of all, because we're thinking, I think longevity also can determine greatness. So you could be hot for a season, and you could actually let that season extend through your lifetime by not turning to doing stupid stuff after the season. Even though when we go back in history, we'll think of that as that period you were great. But like you say, when you start acting crazy, depending on how young you are or what you own, you know what I'm saying, what you consider to be great or what you're doing, and now we like not as great as, you know what I'm saying, or now you have, you know what I'm saying, we think of this first before we think of your accomplishments.
Right.
And I don't like to see the media put rumors out there that can distort, you know what I'm saying, that a lot of people might end up believing, and it takes away from somebody's greatness. Or when somebody starts trying to do something actually great for the community, then they start tearing that person's down. Like we have people that are already considered great because of their skill. They have a lot of money. They're great because of their eminence. Now they really want to start doing something great for the hood, or really want to buy a TV station or TV, you know what I'm saying, network, so that they can put out creative and great positive things, and next thing you know, something happened to them.
Lady Lionel says people are angry for no reason.
Not only that, hey, but what about those great people in certain foreign countries, or those great people over here that, or they consider to develop an invention or something like that that's considered great? It could consider to be saving someone something when it comes to sources and resources in the, on the planet, and next thing you know, disturbing things start happening to that person. A lot of times, sometimes greatness can have a negative kickback, and it shouldn't. When what you develop can help a lot of people and probably make money and stop money from certain other things, you got to think about it like that too.
Yeah,
sometimes being great in certain ways is putting yourself in a situation where now you could be in danger.
That's true. Greatness, I always say that greatness is within you. And sometimes we have to realize that we are great regardless. We are great just because. And to be great and to understand that your greatness, it may not be manifesting outward, but it's manifesting inward, because I feel like I'm great because I'm not going to treat anybody bad, because I don't want to be treated bad by anyone else. So I'm not going to treat anybody like I don't want to be treated. That's a great thing, I think. I try to respect people as much as possible. I try to make sure that I do the right thing by all people, especially people that fucks with me, period. Excuse my French, Azana. But especially people that fuck with me, period. I try to make sure that I try to do that as well. Slick says, one more question for Azana. How does Azana feel about the younger people, and how does she think that but what we can do to get them to try to steer away from the violence a little bit. What do you see as a younger person, I guess?
I don't know. Like, you know, I don't know. I grew up here in Atlanta. Well, not right here, but I grew up in Atlanta. I went to school with a lot of kids, knowing them just in survival mode, I guess. And growing up, some people they been like that. Some people they were never like that, and now they like that all of a sudden. And I think a part of it is because a lot of people, like a lot of kids, don't have a place to be a kid. Like they go home, they might have to take care of their siblings, or they just like have to worry about like financial stuff. And now it's like I grew up. We had like stuff that like we were on like social media and stuff, but it was just now like coming up. So we were outside, you know, road trips, going to the pool and stuff. I feel like now what the kids see, they on the same apps as the adults. Like it used to be separate. We used to be watching Disney Channel and they used to be watching other stuff.
Right.
Now it's like a kid can go and see the same stuff an adult is seeing. And I that's what I think the main problem is. And then also like for us, like our community, I feel like, I mean, it's been like this for a long time.
Right.
Like all you see is like basketball, you know, football, rapping. You don't, you know, and then even like I do nails, but that's all you see, 2 hair nails. You don't really see any like these other people be having jobs that you never even heard of.
Right.
You know, coming where you came from. Like I went to school, you know, they over here like, what did they say they were? A beach ball specialist or something. But they making like so much money and like it's just they could just make
things
stuff
you would
up.
never think about.
Yeah, but it's like sometimes the stuff ain't even real, but they can do that because like where they're at, and you know they get small loans of $1 million and stuff like that. Like that's a quote from our president.
Right.
Yeah.
Small loans.
So and then like I don't know, it's a controversial person. I guess I won't say their name, but they were saying online that a lot of people are like angry at the system, and then it like they just take it out on each other.
That I can see that.
Yeah, so that's why like I think a lot of people are killing because they don't have nothing. They don't have anything to lose, and it's because of like the system and how everything was set up. Not always like everything, but hey.
I just think once again it plays into a lack of I would say a positive influence that's older that they could actually look up to, and media fanning the flame. If it's cool to somebody in the media, it's definitely gonna be, or if it's considered to be cool and money making to the adults in the media, then what you think the kids gonna think?
Right.
And then now the adults are starting to look at the kids run up numbers and money and what they're doing and trying to look like them. And that's crazy. But you also have like if you have a grandma and she about 35 and she's upset because she can't go
to the club,
then I mean, you know, it might be some issues. So with that being said,
hold on, I want to say one thing before we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
What Azana says, that people are mad at the system. That's what I don't think people realize this, and I got this from the Stoic philosopher Seneca. I don't know if you guys ever want to read one of their books. One of his books called Letters of Ethics, and I'm having a hard time saying that. But he says, anyone who despises his own life is the master of yours. Based off what she just said, that you get what I'm saying? Because he despises his own life. Like she said, they have nothing to lose. So anybody that despises their own life is the master of yours.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I try definitely not to be around somebody that despises themselves,
life, right.
and definitely not despising me. Yeah. But hey, like I say, it's one of the best episodes I've ever had. This was a great episode.
That was the best episode you ever had.
Yeah, the greatest episode. We've
ever
achieved greatness today, y'all.
Right.
And I appreciate the fact that we've had a lot of questions. They just weren't to me. But I appreciate it. So maybe I can get Z up on this episode. I mean, on another episode. But until then, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. And like I said, just try to be as great as you can.
All right.
And we out.
Yeah. Shit. Grams leaders CC's pounds. Close gap, close call, close encounter, close up, pounds of leaders of grams, get your dose up, cut this up, post up, and get dosed up. This for them voted like the move and make the most of. Monday night at 8, I can't wait to set you straight. These opinions and debates for them folk that can't relate. I got to elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that deaf, dumb, and blind.